everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to talk about phonics and how you can make your child to start reading at home. So let's get into the topic. What is phonics? Phonics is decoding words by its sound. Okay, so it's suppose I have a word dog. Okay, so the sound for D is D and O is O and G is G. If the child knows the sound, he or she can decode the word and read this word. So dog, dog. So that is it. Dog, dog. And you should not leave a pass in between the letters so that you can easily blend it. Dog, dog. So that is how it goes. And the child can't memorize all the words. How many words a child can memorize? How many words a child can store in or her head? By the literature, the child can store 2500 to 3000 words. That is the count they can able to memorize. And if suppose I give a new word, then the child can't read. So if the phonics is really important to make a child to be a confident and a fluent reader. So that is why phonics is really important. And the English language has 26 letters, but it has more than 26 sounds. And for example, the sound for C is K and H is H. And if you take that together, and this is a particular sound, if two words come together and make a single sound, that is called digraph. Okay, so this makes a sound ch. So separately C makes k and H makes h, and together they make ch. So Jolly Phonics is a teaching program which teaches 42 main letter sounds, and it actually teaches in synthetic phonics method, which is the other one is the analytical method, where it's suppose the child is having taught a word cat, and you can form the word families mat, fat, hat, like that. The child will be taught this particular word cat. So knowing the first letters of the other things, the child can able to read this at, fat, hat, like that the child can read. So this actually makes the child to guess the word. So guessing in phonics will really not helps. So this analytical method is not the right one. So Jolly Phonics uses synthetic phonic method, and it is a multisensory approach. Okay, multisensory in the sense for each letter it has a sound, action, a song, and a story. Okay, for example, if considering M, the sound for M is okay, and the action for that is rubbing your tummy. When you see a really yummy meals, the child has to rub his tummy and say so that is the action for that. So for A, the sound is A, and the child has to pretend that ants are climbing on his arm and say and that is the action for this particular letter, ants on arm. So this is the sound for A. And for B, it is B. The child has to pretend as if he's hitting a ball. Okay, so likewise you have for each and every letters, you have a sound, and you have a story for that, an action for that, and a song for that. So that is how the Jolly Phonics works in a multi-sensory way for the child. And here in Jolly Phonics, the children don't learn sounds in alphabetical order, but in a way where they can read words very quickly. Okay, so if you teach the sounds in alphabetical order, for example A, B, C, D, E, the child has learned 5 different sounds now, and what are all the words the child can able to read. So with these sounds, the child can able to read bed, bad, cab. I think only these are the words which can be formed with these letters. Okay, but that is why the Jolly Phonics have formed some groups, some 7 groups. The first group 1 is it has SATIPN. So these are the first group sounds. So child will be learning 2 vowels and 4 consonants in the first group itself. So with this, the child can able to form 2-letter words like as, at, in, it, is. So these are the 2-letter words, and 3-letter words like sat, tap, ant, sit, tip, pin, nip, nap, and so many words, pan, tap, and even 4-letter words. With pan, if we add a T to that, it's pant. Pan. Pan. The child can try to blend the 3-letter words, and then you can move on to the 4-letter words. Pant. Pant. And that is how it goes. And actually, with the group 1 sounds, the child can able to read 30 different words with only this particular group. And that is how the teaching program have been designed. Okay, so this is the better way than teaching the sounds in alphabetical order. Okay, and the teaching program actually teaches 5 different basic skills. The first one is letter sounds. What I told you, there are 42 different letter sounds, and learning letter formation. The Jolly Phonics gives equal importance for reading and writing. We also teach letter formation in that, and then the blending is for the reading part. The child has to sound out the letters so that they can form a word. So that is blending, and segmenting is for writing. The child has to identify sounds in words. So if I suppose say a word cat, the child has to identify the sounds in it. The child has to identify the sounds, which means cat, at, cat. So these are the 3 sounds which make up this word. So only if the child able to identify the sounds in it, he or she can able to write this word. So that is why segmenting is then is one of the skill needed. And the last one is the tricky word. And tricky word is tricky words are words that cannot be decoded. Okay, so which does not abide by any rules, any decoding rules. So those words are called tricky words. For example, was. Okay, so if I try to decode this word, was, so that is not the right pronunciation. So this does not abide the decoding rule. So such kind of words we call it as tricky words. And here in tricky words, you have 6 groups of tricky words, and each of the group has 12 different words, and totally 72 tricky words are there. Okay, and I'll show you the 42 main sounds. It has been divided into 7 different groups, and each of the group has 6 different sounds. So this is it is, and with this every day the child can be taught with one particular sound, and likewise you can move on, and after once the child is okay with till group 3, you can move on to the teaching tricky words. At this point you can teach them the tricky word. Okay, and this is the sound chart of Jolly Phonics, and these are the 42 sounds. And here you have the alternative spellings. Alternative spellings are something which for some main sounds you have different spelling. Okay, so that is the alternative spelling, and for this is for A, you have these 2 different other spellings. This is magic keyword, and this is for E, I, O, U. These are long vowels, and this is or, oi, ow. So these are the alternative spellings. So now I'll show you the Jolly Phonics app. This is a wonderful app with which you can teach your child all the sounds at home. When you open the app, you can see the sounds here. It has 7 different groups, and each of the group has 6 different sounds. The first sound is S. Here I'm clicking on that. You have a story for that particular sound. You can read the story and tell that to your kid, and the story helps the child to remember the sound. Then comes the action. Here the sound is S, so the child can pretend like a snake and wave their hand in S shape. So that is the action for this particular sound. And then comes the flashcard. You can hear the sound over here. And then comes the letter formation. You can use this for teaching the children the right way to write the letters. And then comes the sounding part. Here you have 4 different pictures where the child has to identify which of these does not start with the sound. The first one is sun, snail, spider, flower. It starts with f sound. So this is the one which does not start with the sound. This is the right answer.
Flower.
And then comes the writing part. Here this is the first sound the child is reading, so here they have given only that particular sound, and when you move on you'll be seeing a list over here, the letters and some words which you can call out and the child can write it. So that is the writing part, and then comes the song for that particular sound.
The snake is in the grass. The snake is in the grass. The snake is in the grass.
So the story, the action, the song, everything really helps for the child to remember the sound. And I'll click on a different letter in the next group. You can hear the lesson starts with the revision. Okay, so every time when you start teaching your child a new sound, you should revise the older ones whatever you have taught, and you can hear the sounds here. And then comes the story, the action, and here the sound is and so the child can pretend to be a puppy and holding a blanket shape and making that sound. So that is the action here. The child will really enjoy these kinds of things. And then comes here the blending part, because here the child have already let one group of sounds, so they can start blending with the sounds whatever they have learned. So the list of words what you can ask them to blend have been listed out here, and you can find some more words here. And you can also use this as a flashcard, where if you click it,
Rat.
so this will really help you to teach your child. And then comes the sounding, and here if you see in the writing part you have some sounds, some letters, and then some words which you can call out and ask your child to write it. Jolly Phonics give equal importance for reading and writing. That is the best part in this particular teaching program. And once you complete all the 42 sounds, the 7 groups, then comes the alternatives. Alternatives, you have 2 different groups where you can find alternative spellings for some of the sounds we have already seen. The first one is O, and these 2 are, you have 2 other spellings for the same sound O. And this one you can see different words with that particular spelling. And for the second one, all 3 of this sound as O, and this is magic EO. And if you want to get more ideas on all these things, do follow my channel. And then comes the tricky words. After you teach the first 3 groups of sound, the main 3 group sounds, then you can start teaching the tricky words. Here you have 6 different groups in the tricky word, and each of the group has 12 different words. So that is what is the lesson plan is, and then comes the games. Sound bus, the child can practice the sounds by clicking the sound what he or she is hearing. So, and the next one is the word bus. Likewise, here the words, you can see different words on the screen. The child has to click the word what he or she is hearing, and that is how this works. But I prefer doing hands-on activities to the children. You can use this app for teaching the sounds. So in that way, this app will help you a lot. If you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button. If you like watching more videos on phonics about different 42 sounds and the alternative spellings, tricky words, activities on that, and I plan to make videos on beginning sounds, tricky words, activities you can do for that CVC words. So if you like watching all these things, please do subscribe me, and you can also click the bell icon to make sure that you get a notification every time I post a new video. Hope you like this video. Thank you for watching and see you next time.